tips. There we go. So, due to the current situation, we have all transitioned to this online format for schooling or a distance learning kind of thing. But the point is that we're doing our work at home. And I know for many of you, this transition has been very complicated, very confusing. We don't know what we're doing, okay? But that's where I come in. And I know I'm always doing these videos and it's kind of like, why is it always her? But I actually have experience in this specific topic, seeing as I have been doing independent studies for about 2.5 years. Yes, this whole format is not new to me. Not only have I been an independent studies student for a while, I am also a dual enrolled student. So I go to community college, and they are completely transferring their in-person classes to an online format. That has been confusing for me, and so I know the confusion that you're all feeling. I feel it too, but also I have those study tips from being in a independent studies high school that helps me out. I'm not talking on these tips because they're fun and entertaining and they get me about my day. No, it's because I've applied them to my life and I've seen them show up in my advantage in the fact that now I'm academically competitive and whatnot. I guess that's what they call it. But yeah, like, these tips have helped me a lot, and hopefully through this transition, when you're more adjusted, well suited, they'll help you as well. I want to encourage you not to let this transition stop you from getting those good grades and excelling as a leader. So with that being said, we're going to go about this video by me giving you a couple tips, primarily from me and what I do on a day-to-day basis. But most of them are from other students that are excelling academically through this. For homeschooling, online schooling, virtual learning, distance learning, for this, I'm just going to call it independent studies. For this video, if I'm referencing independent studies, that's whatever you're doing. And they're just tips for throughout this independent studies. Keep that vision of graduating, like tunnel it out. All you're focused on is graduating. That's all you want. You're gonna graduate, and that's gonna be your constant motivation through this to graduate. The California Cadet Corps, everything is gonna be relating back to the California Cadet Corps because that's what we are. We are cadets. We are leaders. That's our platform right here, leadership. We have learned through the California Cadet Corps curriculum different little things like time management, organization, but most importantly, leadership. And with that being said, tip number 1 is mainly going to be about leadership, self-leadership for that matter. I don't know how many out there are platoon leaders, squad leaders, first sergeant, company commanders, whatever your position is. You are a leader of others, but the way you started off was being a leader of yourself and being accountable for yourself. With that being said, you have to apply that accountability to yourself to excel in this independent studies program that we've transitioned to. And self-leadership kind of revolves around being accountable and intentional. I'm going to be referencing my handy dandy field notebook, waterproof. Had it for a while, but it's useful. I like to reference something here and there. It just helps me out a lot. So in order to get through this process, you want to make sure that all your actions are intentional. That means that they are done on purpose for your end goal, in order to reach your end goal. So you have to be accountable for your actions being intentional, and that way you'll reach that end goal. That's how you kind of create a self-leadership within yourself, making sure that everything you do it's with the purpose to graduate. That's the main tip I want to give, like that. Be intentional, be accountable. You have to exhibit self-leadership through this. Now, I understand that it is difficult to kind of make sure that your actions are intentional at times. Personally, I keep a planner of like everything that I have to do monthly, weekly, and I write it out every Saturday evening. I write my weekly goals. I write my my daily to-do list in order to reach those weekly goals. But that's just what I do. It works for me. Just anything that you could see in order to recall your weekly goals. So there's this thing at school, you are constantly being babied in a sense. Your teachers are telling you, you have this assignment due tomorrow, you have to finish this sheet today, you have to read this amount of pages today. They're constantly on you and telling you what to do. But in this independent learning format, you don't get that privilege anymore. You have to be accountable for yourself. So with that being said, make sure you're remembering. If you can't hear it, now you're seeing it. That'll kind of fast track you into moving forward and reaching that goal.
I went on that whole rant to say
Weekly goals, write them out, okay? And if you get the opportunity to, go ahead and every morning or on a weekly basis, write down your daily to-do list. This way you know what you have to accomplish and you'll go about checking off that to-do list. Número 2. Okay? It's my favorite. Yes, it is. Okay. Number 2 is kind of extreme, but very, very simple. One of the Cadet Corps objectives is to develop health, wellness, and fitness. I know that many of us do not keep up with this objective. We kind of brush it off. It is very important that through this time we follow tip number 2, which is to get your body moving. Why? At school, we are moving from classroom to classroom. We just move around in school. At home, we don't have a big old campus to roam around. So our movement decreases. So throughout this time, move your body, get blood flowing through you, gets me going, gets me moving. Whatever works for you, but I encourage you to get your body moving because this will kind of establish a blood flow to your brain, and you want that blood flow to increase oxygen in your brain. I like the sun. It is very important for the human body. I encourage you to go get some sun every single morning if you are able to. And with that, I encourage you also to go for a walk, get some fresh air. This is all very good for your well-being, but also it's going to increase the blood flow once again to your brain, and that gets oxygen going, and it wakes you up in a sense that you're ready to go. Your brain is now energized to take in some information. You're not drowsy, you're not sleepy, you're kind of good to go. And I know some might not have that easily available to go outside for a walk or to get some fresh air outdoors. Open a window, open up your curtains. Don't be in a sad room. Make your room happy, make it vibrant. When you're in a vibrant setting, you'll be vibrant. It kind of just works out that way. Point was, tip number 2, get your body moving, get your blood flowing, be physical. If you have to do 10 jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 sit-ups, go for it. But do something physical to get your blood flowing. Tip number 3 would be to eat brain food. I know many schools throughout our growing up, many have emphasized how important it is to eat breakfast. that doesn't make sense to a lot of people when you wake up. And like me, for example, I used to wake up, I would eat breakfast, and I would get so tired. Like sometimes if I eat, like I'm just sleepy. You know, you're just sleepy after you eat. So I'm like, why do I want to eat breakfast if I'm gonna get sleepy? At the beginning, I kind of avoided breakfast. I would wake up, go straight for a walk, and then I would sit down, do my homework, and that kind of messed me up in a sense. Like my brain was awake, I had oxygen, but I wasn't being like, I didn't give myself the nutritional value that I needed to energize my brain. So come 10 a.m. I was tired again, and I would want a nap. And so I want you to be encouraged to take this time at home to kind of learn about yourself, know your body, know what you like and what you don't like, what works for you and what doesn't. That goes a lot to do with food. Your brain needs nutrition in order to wake up in the morning. Make sure it's healthy, it's balanced. If you are in need, please reach out to your local school district to see if they are providing food. Please, I encourage you to do that. Schools are providing meals. Look, if you have a local school, 5-minute walk, guess what? You knocked down 2 things. You went, got some fresh air, got some sun, got your body moving, you went and grabbed your brain food. Okay? Look at you. You're already achieving stuff. I want to encourage you once again to learn your body. We teach health, wellness, and fitness, but we don't go into that nutritional stuff. I want you to understand in these short 30, 45 seconds that different bodies respond differently to different nutrients. Me, for example, my energy level comes from carbs. Cereal or fruit, that's kind of more on the sweet side for me, so it doesn't like energize me. It kind of makes me drowsy and tired. But if I eat like my pan tostado with my huevo, with my like toast, egg, avocado, I am ready to go throughout the day. That's what works for me. It's just carbs. It's that's my fuel source. That's my energy. And when I do that in the morning, I just feel more revamped, ready to go. Take this time to know what your body is telling you, whether you are energized by carbs or sugar or you need protein in the morning. Whatever it is, just make sure that you understand your body and that you are eating in a sense that benefits you in the long run, that it encourages you, it motivates you, it wakens your body up, wakens your mind up. Just learn your body. So now moving on to tip number 4. We kind of touched on this earlier, but it's harder than it, like, it's harder to understand and hard to explain. But just briefly, your atmosphere really influences you as an individual. If you are in a dark, gloomy place, you become dark and gloomy.
Unless you're just like super vibrant and you light up the whole room. But
Also, in that same way your atmosphere influences you, the way you present yourself will also influence the way you behave. With that, tip number 4 is dress to impress, to summarize this whole concept.
we're at home. We don't have anywhere to go. Now I can't go see anybody. Now anybody can come see me. So why am I going to wake up and get dressed to get outfit? I simply don't have to.
Understand this. When you look good, you feel good, and you will do good. It just correlates so perfectly. Like, try it out, okay? In this time of self-isolation, you want to still go about looking and dressing a certain way that represents you so that you feel motivated to do things. When you're in your pajamas and you're in that mood to go to sleep, you're not in that mood of going out and changing the world. So make sure you present yourself on a day-to-day basis, like if you're ready to go create a vaccine for corona so that I could graduate on stage. Just Dress to impress, carry yourself in a respectable manner. I posted recently on my personal account. During this time, it is the perfect time to show people whether you crash and burn in the sign of chaos or you excel. This can be applied to everything, but I want to apply that to specifically how you dress and how you present yourself. Um, when the world is chaotic, do you let go of your appearances, of how you carry yourself, or do you continue to strive for that excellence? Just keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you carry yourself in a very high manner, even if you're just at home. We have also taught SMART goals. I referenced goals at the beginning of this in tip number 1, but I want to circle back to them in a tip because it's great to have goals, but you want to make sure that your goals are obtainable, that your goals are something you can accomplish. Now you've accomplished something. You've woken up and the first task you set out to do, you got it done. When you reach your goals, you're kind of motivated to continue pursuing your goals because you already accomplished one, now you can accomplish another and another and another. It just sets you in the right kind of motion to go forward. If you need that extra help with schoolwork per se, please understand that you have the ability to reach out to your cadets, reach out to your friends. They don't have to be cadets. Reach out to your friends and tell them, hey, I don't understand this subject. Can you explain? I know that you went and sat in a classroom with some students, so you know those students, so you befriended some of these students. All you have to say is, hey, can you help me with this problem? And you guys could work together on that. Call each other on FaceTime, call each other on Zoom, Google Hangouts, whatever platform you're using, call each other. I don't go into specifics on that because those are not essential to the overall picture. Those are kind of individual things that you can go out and obtain for yourself. If you have study tips like that, how to solve the logarithmic function, comment that, help someone out. Tip number 5, reward yourself by doing something you love. I personally make sure that every single evening I have a fun activity at hand so that I can reward myself for the effort that I put into my schoolwork. You don't get that motivation, the same one that you get at school when you accomplish your task. At home, where's that teacher telling me good job for finishing my work? You have to reward yourself. And with that being said, write out your schedule so that you have time to focus on your schoolwork. And when you're done with your schoolwork, you have time to do something that you love to do. Just enjoy being at home. Enjoy learning about yourself. Enjoy learning your body, learning your needs, and use this time productively for schoolwork and something you love. This is not because of Cadet Corps, okay? This is not because of Cadet Corps. Drink water. Yes. Drink water throughout this time that you are at home. We think that we don't need it because we're not doing anything, but water, it's hydrogen to oxygen. That oxygen is needed in your body in order to function properly. Do it. Just drink water, okay? Drink water. It's good for you. It'll get you going. It'll get you moving. But for right now, an overall picture of how to get through this independent learning format, be a leader to yourself. be accountable for yourself. Be intentional in all your actions. Get your body moving. Get that blood flow in your brain by going for walks, getting some sun, getting some fresh air. Just get your body moving. Eat your brain food, okay? It is important to get energy from nutrients to your brain. Dress to impress. When you look good, you feel good, and you do good. That goals you can accomplish by starting off every single morning making your bed. Do something you love to do. Enjoy your time at home. Tip number 7, drink water. Make learning fun. I know the reason why we're all here, not being able to get our work done. I know it. You want to know why? Because I went through this transition too. And I thought I could be accountable for my work. I could get it done. Like, I'm homeschooled. I have all the time and I have all day to get my work done. I'm just going to scroll through Instagram. No, now I'm just going to make another TikTok and get it done. No ma'am, no sir, no corporal, no sergeant. That is not the way you do it. You see this? This is your worst enemy throughout this time. It is your best friend, but it is also your, like, you see this? Throw it. Throw it. Take it out of sight, out of mind, okay? That's what you want to do with your phone. This is very controversial because you can use your phone to study. You can use your phone to communicate with your friends and help each other out in lessons, but the moment you go in and say, I'm just going to scroll through Instagram, you're going to spend hours on Instagram. You're going to do it. So here's the last final tip. Your phone. Your laptop. That schedule we mentioned earlier. It's also very important when it comes to using social networks. You are at home. You have to be accountable for your actions. And how do you do this? By making sure that you don't allow yourself to spend an hour straight on Instagram. I'm addicted to my phone. Not really. I'm not actually addicted to my phone. Just use your time wisely. I know I've gotten to the point where I don't use my phone for a couple 2-3 hours, and then I'll be like, oh hey, I need to go check Instagram, what's new? And I'll just use it for 10-15 minutes and then I'll put it away. But that you have to build up to that, because in our generation, we are so dependent on our phone, and I don't expect you all to let go of your phone for hours straight and not feel that uncertainty. So that's okay. It's okay. But also know that your phone is going to be your worst enemy if you keep it right next to you while you're trying to learn. The number one question that I get is, how do you stay motivated to do the work by yourself? I'm going to be honest, I don't like school. School and I have never gotten along very well. But I think of the end goal in mind of where I want to be in the future. That kind of drives me. I kind of did high school as quick as possible, and now I'm in this dual enroll program where I could get college courses for free. And so I'm taking advantage of that. So knocking those things out, that's my motivation. I want to get out of school. Just like that. In a day-to-day basis, if I finish this project really, really quick and I do it effectively, then I'm done. I don't have to focus on this anymore. That's my motivation to go get it. But I also know how hard it is to get started. If you know me, I am very into fitness. It's like getting the motivation to start reading is the same as getting the motivation to start that set. And you don't find that motivation when you're starting. It's super hard. But when you're going at it, you kind of like find a motivation of like, you're almost done. You gotta finish up. You gotta finish strong. You got this. Go for it. That's kind of the best that I could give you in that sense. You gotta think of the end goal and just get started. Just get started and then you'll want to finish. The second question has got to be how to be focused and productive. I think it really goes back to the way you motivate yourself. When you're done with it, you're ready, you're done, you don't have to deal with it anymore. So that kind of drives you to be productive and focused. Number 2 would be remove distractions. If you are able to have a quiet learning space, designate that space. If you are not able to, plug in those headphones. Just make sure you remove distractions, and that includes your cell phone. If your phone is not allowing you to advance, remove that distraction. Hear it? Have a clean, productive workspace. And also, it goes back to the goals. You have to have goals written out and set out for you to accomplish. That will drive you. That will encourage you. So, with this social isolation, make sure that you learn to effectively communicate with your family members. Communicate with your parents effectively so that your schedule and their schedule correspond. If you need to wake up earlier to get that class done in peace, do it. And then you can nap in the afternoon. You're good. You have all day. But just do whatever works for you best. Final question. Can I cheat? Yes, you can. But it's called integrity. If you go for it and you Quizlet every single assignment, then guess what? When the test comes, you're not going to know what to do. So have integrity and make sure that what you're doing, you're learning it. You're not just going for it, but you acknowledge and you learn it. Those are my independent studies questions and answers. Finally, Cadet Corps. We are trying to put up some social media challenges. We're going about formatting that to fit our social media needs. And then we're also trying to do these Instagram live or classroom chats that cadets could talk to each other about leadership formations. So I know this is a difficult conversation to have via the screen and one-sided, but I just want to encourage you all to utilize your phone. I know I said put it away, but when you have an opportunity, when your work is done, utilize your phone to contact one another, your friends, your family members, your cadets even. Make sure that you check up on the well-being of them. And well-being is very broad. You want to make sure they are physically healthy, but also mentally healthy. That this whole self-isolation thing is crazy. It's not what we're used to. Make sure that you are being that leader that looks out for your cadets' welfare, okay? Throughout this whole chaos, my main goal and the headquarters' main goal has been cadets' welfare. That is what we are going for at all times, making sure that cadets are safe and secured. Reach out to your friends. Make sure that they are utilizing their resources. Just please make sure that you do not forget about each other and that you are helping each other through this time. Your phone is a great tool. We're not used to being so isolated in a sense. We're used to being in campus, in schools with a large crowd. Please make sure that you exhibit friendship above all through this time. You are not going to be a productive virtual leader if you nail someone down for not doing their homework. What you want to do is offer them resources to excel in their academics. If you have any questions, if you have any tips on how to go through this transition or any study tips, please comment them. If you would like to add anything, go for it, and we will see how this whole pandemic works out. With that, reach out to one another, reach out to us. We are here for you, and Essayons.